Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So it's Saturday, I just returned home from running a few errands with my children, and as you can see behind me, we hit the jackpot with scrapping. Just to drive that point home that scrapping can happen any day of the week, any season of the year, any time of day. So gonna go through some of the items that we found, talk about the metals that they're made of, the price, and how to separate, and more importantly, divert these items from the landfill and maximize your profit. First, I do apologize by my voice. I've been battling a small cold, a lot of talking, surprise, surprise. But the next thing, you're gonna start with this barbecue. It was full intact. Having a truck has definitely been a blessing for me. I've been able to just pick it up, put it in the back. They are very easy to disassemble. In my opinion, not easy to assemble, but definitely the nice thing about these, they are a great source of scrappable material. And it was already picked over. It did not have a gas regulator like this that has the nice brass hunk and cast aluminum, but it did have a lot of nice goodies. And this barbecue, given the weight and the current price of tin shred, is a great score. So the nice thing about barbecues, I do have a separate video talking about how to separate the material, how to disassemble them properly. So if you're interested, go check that out. This one I do want to quickly talk about. There are different styles of barbecue. Some are stainless steel, some are cast aluminum. This one, if I put a magnet to it, it is magnetic. So this entire shell is going to go into my tin shred pile. There are some, word of caution, that if I put a magnet to it and the magnet just barely sticks, that's because the inner flap does have a steel cover inside. You do want to remove that, and that would mean, if it is metallic color, that it will be stainless steel, which is worth a lot more than your tin shred. As well, if it was black, a lot of the older styles, if it is non-magnetic, can be cast aluminum, which is actually going for 50 to 60 cents a pound, so a lot better than tin shred. But I am not going to complain. Given the price right now of tin shred being about 10 to 13 cents a pound Canadian, this entire outer shell barbecue, the shelves, the door, all of the grill, all of this is going to go into my tin shred. And currently, this is actually 115 pounds just from the tin shred. So 10 cents a pound for that, that's definitely a great score. Some of the screws I do want to mention, if I put a magnet to it, as you can see, put a magnet, some of the screws do stick, some of the things, but a lot of these screws are non-magnetic. And that's because they have a nice coating on them, probably nickel. So these will actually go into my stainless steel pile. I have a nice jar of stainless steel screws and bolts, and I will bring those in with my stainless steel. I have seen some screws brass, so you definitely want to check it. But the easiest way to tell if they are magnetic, they are going to go into my steel pile. I have a nice jar for screws and nails and bolts. And again, once I fill that, I bring that to the scrapyard because it all adds up. So just as you can see there, here are some screws. These are steel, or going to my steel pile. These ones are not. That's great. Another thing that I luckily found is there's always going to be a push igniter. This igniter did have a battery. This battery is one of your household batteries. These are at a scrapyard going for 10 cents a pound. Again, I have a nice jar of those that I put these in, and I will bring them in together. You do want to make sure you separate batteries. Household batteries are a different category than, for example, your car batteries and your lawnmower batteries. So this is household batteries, but again, it all adds up. I did have a really nice burner, as you can see here, and the burner, this burner does have, this is a side burner. This is going to go into my tin shred, but as you can see, the top, if I scratch that, which I already did, that is brass. So I'm just going to uncrimp this. This will go into yellow brass. I cannot bring this in like this because it's going to give me dirty brass price. But clean brass right now is actually going for $3.55 a pound. So I just uncrimp that. I will throw that into my pile of brass, and definitely a good score. It did have the nice, this is your gas line, if you will. Does have some spots. Still smell a little bit of propane, which is, I always love that smell. But nice connector here. You've got some brass there. This hose is going to be stainless steel, a little bit more brass here. And these nozzles, sometimes you will get really lucky and these can be entirely brass. This one is not brass, but there is a little bit of brass in the top, so that's just unscrewed. There is a little bit inside too that you want to pop out. You definitely want to make sure, so here's a good example. This is from a different barbecue, but this one is brass. Definitely have to remove it from the pipe here, but some really nice brass. And again, I find a lot of these on your older style, but again, they are still worth money. As I said, little brass, this came from it, some steel, just screwed in with some screws. This is going to be, I believe, cast aluminum. Again, you do have to take a little bit of the rubber off there, but you want to unscrew the brass there. Okay, so great score there. I do also have the chain, very easy. The chain is always on there. This is going to be stainless steel. Okay, so again, you do want to make sure you look it over. Great score, as I said, 115 pounds of tin shred that I'm going to be able to bring in. Word of caution, the grills especially can be gunky. There can be some food residue in the bottom box. So you do want to be careful, you know, kind of dump it out. But nice thing, I flattened it out. I can just lay it in my bed of my truck now, and I will be able to bring it in as is. Another thing I found actually at the same house was a type of, it's almost like a privacy fence, if you will, or privacy, one of those movie style dressing curtains. And the difference between this is actually going to go into my steel pile. If I was to cut this open, the difference between tin shred and steel is the thickness of the metal. They are both, as you can see, magnetic, and these are thicker than 1/4 inch. In order to be classified as steel, the metal has to be thicker than 1/4 inch, and it deals more with structural beams. So something like this, trampoline poles are another good thick steel, bigger than 1/4 inch. So those type of things are going to go into my steel pile. It's worth a little bit more than tin shred, but I guess it all depends also on the amount of material you have. This actually weighs 15 pounds, and I might actually just throw it all on one load just to add up the weight. It's just a couple cents that I'm losing on that a pound. So at least I'm going to get tin shred. But if I had a full load of trampoline poles or structural things, I'm definitely going to bring it in and classify it at steel price, because maximize my profit is definitely something you want to do. So this is definitely a great score as well. As I said, 15 pounds, and that is steel. I found a really nice smokestack. This is 13 pounds. I've never actually known what was in these, but put a magnet to it, it does stick. So this is magnetic. There is a nice thick metal pole inside here. There is some foam inside of this. I am going to leave the foam in there. I'm not going to take it apart. I will just bring it in, and I will get tin shred price for that. There are other options. I have seen some of these being sold online, especially if they have the entire unit with the elbow joint and stuff. For me, I'm just going to bring it in. Again, better than going to the landfill, but a smokestack, which was cool. Found a really nice TV. Look at this thing. This thing weighs a ton. So already removed the back. This back is magnetic, so this is another piece of tin shred. By the way, I should have said, I do also, going back to my barbecue regulators, I do have a video showing you how to open these and getting the brass out of them and upgrading this to cast aluminum. So if you're interested, go check that out. These are called, as I said, gas regulators or pressure regulators. Again, great item to scrap and get the cast aluminum clean. But getting back to this TV, just gonna hold it up to the camera. You can see this thing weighs a ton. And I got some great circuit boards. Look at these beautiful aluminum heat sinks that I take off. I have a video on aluminum heat sinks. Great source of extrusion aluminum, going right now for about $1.53 a pound. I've got a huge bag of them. I can't wait to bring that in. But some great circuit boards on here. This side, here are 4 more aluminum heat sinks. There are some great copper donuts on here that I'm going to take off and get the clean copper from, number 2 copper. This copper, once I break that open, is going to give me $4.43 a pound. Definitely better than bringing these circuit boards in by themselves. This TV, I could bring it in as is. This thing weighs, hang on a second, I have a scale right here. I have to weigh this because this thing is a ton. So give me a second. This weighs 70 pounds. 70 pounds as is. And I could bring this in as is. This is going to be classified as electronic e-waste price, which gives you about 5 cents a pound. But again, in my opinion, so much more going to get from separating the materials inside of this. The nice thing is once I remove the copper and the heat sinks, I can bring the rest of this in to the scrapyard and get the price for the TV, because there is still stuff on there that they can salvage. So this is not going to be any waste, which is great. I still have the backing. The backing, I'm going to add another 4 pounds. So great source. And I do also have another video on scrapping flat screens, but there's one thing that I failed to mention in one of my videos because I never had it. But this TV, and usually I find it with the really, really heavy ones. So I'm going to just quickly show this. This bar here going up the TV, and this bar, as you can see, this is actually, if I put a magnet to it, it does not stick. These bars are actually aluminum. So they are very easy to take off. They're just almost pinned onto the back of the TV. And what I'm going to do, just very quickly, I have my shoes, I have my safety glasses on already. Sorry about the noise. So just going to very quickly show you, right here, I'm just going to pull this bar up. All I'm going to use is, and as you can see, the TV is a little wet, so I still have a little wet stain now. But just going to put my safety glasses on. Going to take a pry bar, and all I'm going to do is put it under this bar. And all I'm going to do is just use leverage, pop it up, get to the point where there's a pin. You can see it's just starting to come up now. Okay, there are different connectors to it, but it just comes up, as you can see. So this is actually going to be, as I said, clean aluminum once I pop this out. And it's obviously going to be a little bit easier once I get the circuit board out of there. I can pop it up more, but just using my pry bar. Okay, there you go. Look at that. So, not going to go all the way across, but there is one down here on the bottom, right here. You can see that. There's 1, 2 over here. This long bar extends all the way across. So, I've probably got right there. This would be actually clean aluminum. Difference between extrusion. Extrusion is aluminum that looks like it's been put through a press. This stuff is just going to be clean. Going to go still for about 45 to 60 cents a pound. Better than nothing. Again, there's probably a good 6 pounds worth of aluminum there. Definitely better than my e-waste price. A lot of tin shred on here too that I'm going to separate, put in my tin shred. These ones I find less gold. I find the smaller the TV, there's usually a nice circuit board strip of gold. This one does have a little bit of gold over here in the side, but just little pins. I am still going to get that, but some really nice aluminum. And I love these little heat sinks as well. You can see this is still going to be extrusion. It all adds up. This is on other circuit boards, but a great TV that I was able to find. Okay, just going to turn this camera now. Last thing, we did go by a job site, and I find lots of this. I actually just went through it. This is going to be your gas line. pipe. Very recognizable, it's yellow, and I've already worked through a bunch of it. As you can see, there is 14 pounds of it right here. Great source of stainless steel. I find every build that I go to, there's usually a small spool that's the excess, it's thrown in the garbage. So great source for me, and very easy to do. All I actually do is take a knife. I have my safety glasses back on. Just gonna start with a little bit of a couple lines past here, cut it. Okay, I cannot bring this in as is, because if I bring this in with the casing on it, and it's just like a plastic, it's gonna give me a dirty load. So now all I'm gonna do is just almost fold it, peel it like a banana. So very easy to do. Just gonna pull that back, there you can see. Okay, and I'm gonna go all the way down this hose until I get all of this taken apart. So this stuff, nice thing about this is, again, as I said, stainless steel. We also found a couple little odds and ends. Here again is a little bit of tin shred, but found a little bit of this, and this is kind of going to your dryer. It goes to different vents. This is actually aluminum. This is, again, your clean aluminum. Gonna go for about 45 to 60 cents a pound. And one of my viewers asked me, how do I tell the difference between aluminum and stainless steel? Well, the first thing you do want to do to make sure you look, a lot of times they are metallic looking, but if I put a magnet to it, does not stick, does not stick. So they both look the same color, or can look the same color, but the best test that you're going to do is what we call the spark test. If I put a grinder to these, aluminum does not produce a spark. Stainless steel will. So I have my grinder here. I have done this experiment for other people in other videos, but if you are new to the channel, just want to quickly show you. So I'm going to start with aluminum. I have my grinder here. Okay, did not produce a spark. This is your gas hose, and again, they come in different thicknesses or different widths. This one is a little bit different color, but again, I'll use both of them. Okay, so you saw a nice spark from both of them, so this is going to be stainless steel. And currently stainless steel is going for about 77 cents a pound, which is an excellent score. Like I said, excellent source, in my opinion. 14 pounds right there, and I still have some to go through. I have about 10 pounds downstairs already in a bag separated. So good, bring that all in with all my stainless steel barbecue pieces and other stainless steel odds and ends a little bit later, once I build up a really nice load of it. But great source of stainless steel there. So again, spark test, if you are in doubt, aluminum, stainless steel, both non-magnetic. And you will find some stainless steels that have a small magnetic charge to it. And if it does have a magnetic charge, it is not going to be classified as stainless steel. There's not enough coating on it to give it stainless steel price. So you're going to want to put it just into your tin shred or your steel if it's some type of structural beam. So some great items here. I did find a little bit of copper wire too, not enough, but it all adds up in my opinion. Great thing also to scrap. But again, this was just a Saturday errand run. Was able to find a number of things, maybe passed up or didn't have room for people to put it in their own vehicles, but definitely well received by me, appreciative, and some great items to further scrap and divert from the landfill. So hopefully that you found that informative. Hopefully I was able to answer a few questions. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.